Hi guys, my name's Holly, and today, this is supposed to be my June rereading check-in. I'm supposed to tell you all about Eragon and how great it was to read the Inheritance series again, but I made it this far into the second book, Eldest, by Christopher Paolini. There were several factors into this. The explosion of protest and anti-racist action and everything that was going on was really taking hold around the time I started this, and it felt wrong to focus on this challenge I set myself when I have other reading to do, and I started some anti-racist reading. As well, there was some stuff going on in my personal life, and I needed an escape, and it felt wrong to read books for fun when I had things I wanted to learn and understand and educate myself on. But I completely flopped this month. I can tell you nothing about this, but June was the halfway point of the year, so I am not without content. I wanted to look at the series I planned on reading and have read. I'm looking at the list that I made right at the beginning of the year, and there's some series I've already sort of knocked off, like the Percy Jackson series, Heroes of Olympus, and The Hobbit, like Lord of the Rings, because I decided I wanted to focus on books that I owned in particular. So I only own a couple of Rick Riordan's books. So it felt like it didn't fit with this challenge that I was setting myself, which then also lowered the amount of books I had to read and kind of made everything a little more reasonable for myself, because I'm just not reading as many like physical books as I once could. I work full time, I have other things going on. Of the books that remain on that list, I did complete 3 series. I did finish Artemis Fowl by Owen Colfer, and I finished Harry Potter by J.K. Rowling, which also this year, and in the past little, while, but especially this year, is so disappointing. Wow. Anyways, and I also finished the Chronicles of Narnia by C.S. Lewis. On the flip side, I did start the Eragon series, or as it's properly called, the Inheritance series by Christopher Paolini. Still working on it. Next, I want to tackle the Pendragon series by DJ McHale, and then I would like to get to The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins, and The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater, and then I want to get to the Grisha series by Leigh Bardugo, which is also a 2-parter. There's the Grisha trilogy and the Six of Crows duology, but I'm counting it as one sort of thing. That's a lot. Like, that's I want to say a 10-book series. There's 3 there, there's 4 there. Those are big honkers, and that's 5 books there. I went from younger fiction, shorter books, a lot quicker to read, to denser stuff and a little bit heavier at times kind of books. I mean, they're still all YA, they're still very accessible. These are still very reasonable goals. I have 5 series to finish for the rest of the year. I have 6 months to finish all those books. In my head, I'm looking at that, I'm like, that's not hard, that's very easy, but it's so hard to stay motivated and actually read, to find time. Almost startling to me to realize that I don't actually read books as much as I used to. I find I'm having a hard time making time for them, and I'm having a hard time concentrating on them when I do read them. A few years ago, could sit and read 12 books a month, no problem. There was no audiobooks in sight. Now I don't reach those numbers unless I'm listening to a lot of audiobooks. It's something that I think has happened gradually over time, but it's took this challenge for me to really realize and come to terms with I'm just not reading as much as I would like to. I am busy and there's a lot more going on, but I think, there are times where I'm definitely just on social media or TikTok or watching movies or TV shows or just doing like anything but reading. Rest of the year, we are going to just not push myself. I don't want to push myself so hard that I just don't want to read anymore. Just, remind myself that I do like reading, and maybe I should make that a priority once in a while. The other thing that's pushing me to continue on with this challenge is the Eragon series, the Grisha series, and the Raven Boy series, and the Hunger Games series all have these new books that the authors put out that I would like to read with the context of familiarizing myself with these series that I know that I love. So that only knocks out the Pendragon series, which I have been wanting to reread for like 5 years. So why would I knock that one out? So I do want to reread these series. I'm just putting pressure on myself to read them physically for this challenge. Basically what I'm saying is I hit a bad reading slump in June, and I did not move forward in the series. Halfway through the year, I am absolutely behind, and I need to really get working on this. I don't think my motivation to finish this challenge is waning so much as I'm frustrating myself because I didn't realize I wasn't reading physical books that much. And I need to figure out where in my life I can cut out TikTok. Things that I don't need to be doing TikTok. And maybe fit reading in place of things like, I don't know, TikTok or something. Thank you so much for watching this random little update. I'm really sorry that I don't have more to say. It just didn't feel right not touching in and explaining, you know, what happened. And I like that we're halfway there and I get to see where I am, to remind myself what I'm doing, what my goals are. If after this video you don't want to completely purge the internet from your life, consider subscribing. Anyways, I'll talk to you next time. Bye.